I'm in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, known for its majestic mountain scenery and wildlife. Every September, art lovers gather for an annual art festival. One of the most important exhibitions at this year's Fall Arts Festival is at the Diehl Gallery, where we can find the artwork of contemporary Western painter Malcolm Furlow. Hi, we're here at the Diehl Gallery with Devin Hardy. Devin is an associate art dealer at the Diehl Gallery, and today she's going to tell us about the Malcolm Furlow exhibit. Can you tell us a little bit about what this exhibit is about?
Yeah, absolutely. So Malcolm Furlow is one of the most important artists of the sort of contemporary Southwestern tradition. Ironically, when he first started art school, he flunked out, and his professor said that his palette was too bold and his style and subject matter just wasn't going to make sense, it wasn't working out, and now is sort of required study in a number of different schools for this particular style. He's won awards that he shares with Picasso from the Sorbonne, from the Luxembourg Museum in Paris, so he's a critically acclaimed artist worldwide, especially because of this kind of signature style. And we're thrilled to be featuring this particular body of work, which is really kind of pushing the boundaries for him and making quite a bold cross-cultural commentary, especially right now with the kind of political climate and the climate in the art scene. It's really, really interesting work, in addition to being just bold, beautiful, brazen, and very characteristic of his style. This signature style and his use of color, which he says comes to him from kind of a spiritual place, is very unique, and like I said, was bold enough in his early days of studying at University of Texas that he actually flunked out of his painting class because it wasn't appreciated. And then now, obviously, he's become an internationally renowned artist. His work is in the collection of the White House, embassies across the world, in private collections, just innumerable spaces that are pretty significant. So he's become a person to study for this particular contemporary Western style.
I get it.
Sorry, I talk a lot.
Perfect. The Diehl Gallery is newly representing Malcolm Furlow as a...
Yes, we are very excited. We were kind of in talks with him for a few years, and finally were able to kind of come to an agreement, and he was very excited to be showing with us. So he is a represented artist. This is our first solo exhibition, but we'll be having works from him into the inventory regularly. He'll be featured in group shows, and we're absolutely thrilled. So this is kind of our introduction, and to our collectors, and it's for the Jackson Hole Fall Arts Festival. So we're excited to have people coming into town who will get to see this really exciting new work.
Introduction to Malcolm Furlow, and I have to ask, Devin, what is your favorite piece in this collection and why?
I have a couple favorites. I will say that the backstory behind Armani Indian is quite interesting. Furlow had a great quote where he said that the white man will always only respect you if you wear a Rolex over a war bonnet, even though a war bonnet is infinitely harder to attain and to earn. And so I thought that was really a fascinating way of explaining this work, that he's kind of pushing the concept of having Native Americans in contemporary kind of consumerist contexts and sort of toying with or pushing that boundary between vastly different cultures, and one of whom was oppressed by the white man, who really is kind of the cornerstone of our capitalist consumerist society. So I thought that was a fascinating backstory. I do have a soft spot for a little piece called Lost His Horse, which features a young Native American in a headdress on his bicycle, and you can kind of see the horse running away in the background.
Should we go to it?
It's slightly whimsical. I don't know what it is. I sort of just love this particular character, and I love his facial expression kind of looking off into the distance. And again, I think that we're dealing with this sort of melding of various traditions and having kind of sacred meets new and contemporary. And I think that's just a very interesting dichotomy to be working with as a subject matter.
These colors are making me think of like pop art. Would he be classified categorized in anything like that? Is it just his choice of color?
I don't know. I want to say no, even though I totally hear you, and they are very electric, neon, vibrant palettes that he uses. But I think that's sort of why he was a bit unique, in that the subject matter is not really pop. or rather, it's his own kind of iconography. He has roots in the Choctaw heritage. His grandfather was Choctaw, but he was told never to speak about it because it was too dangerous for his family growing up, because they were persecuted and because they were discriminated against. And so I think it's really interesting that his sort of version of iconography is really a heritage that he wasn't allowed to live. So it's almost like he's drawing from this collective experience and sort of, ancient knowledge to create almost a version of what his life could have been if he'd been allowed to entertain those traditions and yet be a part of, 21st century society. So I think it's a really interesting dynamic there. And I don't know, there's something about this piece that I just have a soft spot for.
I love it. It is great detail. I hope you guys show up here on, step in.
Oh!
I hope you guys show up here on, I don't know if I'm going to get this video out before tomorrow.
Oh, that's fine.
But anyway, if you're, the show is up for a while. If not, stop by the Diehl Gallery, meet Devin, and thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you. If you guys like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe and like.